Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Hour with Ingle and Monali. And Monali, I guess I've been a bit of technical difficulties. Maybe I'm too excited about last night's win for the Blue Jays.
I think a lot of us are. What a win it was.
Yeah, it was.
Stressful, and then total turnaround.
Yeah, at one point I was thinking, oh no, what are we gonna do to get back to 2-0? I'm thinking we're gonna lose 2-0. I thought that
Yeah.
Savage, a good pitcher, but probably young and nervous playing in this game, but so he didn't pitch as we expected. But the whole team, it's such a never die kind of attitude
Yes.
with this team.
It was an incredible game. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Savage is young. You could see the nerves in him. You could see he wasn't himself, but you know what amazed me is the fact that they stuck with him as long as they did.
Right.
And he did get better. He got better with time, but those first couple of innings were very stressful because just he couldn't pick up the 3 outs that he needed. It just they went on and on. At one point, all of the bases were loaded as well.
Mhm.
So they stuck with him though, and it was a big win. What an
It was a
exciting
big
game!
win. It was a big win, and as you said, sometimes bases loaded, and he got out of it, and it was good to see the team really rallied behind each other, and it was a huge win. And it's 32 years. I didn't realize it's that
Yeah,
long since the Blue Jays have been in a World Series. And I actually do remember exactly where I was when that World Series 32 years ago, because I was downtown. I could just hear the cars and the trains go by and stuff. I was on King Street. And then all of a sudden, this big roar, and it couldn't, you knew what it was because it was coming from the stadium.
yeah.
And that's when Joe Carter hit that home run to win. So it was a fantastic time for all of us back then.
I won't tell you how old I was 32 years ago.
I yeah, that's why I didn't ask you where you were. But yes, 32 years ago, I remember that very clearly, and I think anyone would have remembered because it's such a long time ago too,
Yeah.
and such a great feeling. Good to see Cedar Gaston come in and join out the first pitch for the World
Mhm.
Series, and it's
Yeah.
such a just watching the different build up to the game. I mean, people were going down to the viewing centers since early in the day yesterday and talking about how much it meant to them. A lot of younger people who were not around for that 32 years ago. I mean, one
Yeah.
guy said he was not even born yet, but it
Yeah.
meant so much to him
You know,
growing up.
it has a unifying impact, right? I don't think, I mean, unlike the US where they have so many teams that fans are split up into, we
Mhm.
only have the one.
Exactly.
And it might be called the Toronto Blue Jays, but they are representing this whole nation. And it's something that the whole nation can come together and celebrate. The fact that we had the Raptors game change schedule, the Leafs game
Hmm.
change schedule speaks volumes of just how important this moment is in history for us.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you can see all the teams came together. As you said, it's Canada's team because
Yeah.
the Raptors changed their games, as you mentioned. The Maple Leafs. So everyone. Actually, there was one gentleman who was interviewed. He was on his way to a Raptors game, but he said he had to stop by the viewing party to see the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Then they were going to show after the Raptors game. They showed it on the big screen in the Scotia Arena.
Yeah.
So people stuck around and watched, and it was a fantastic feeling. I mean, you can see how crazy the fans went after the Blue Jays won it. As I said, at 2-0, I thought, wow, we're going to lose this game by a small margin. But then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, it just got all blown wide apart with
They
those.
had a nightmare in the sixth innings, didn't they?
It was,
Such a nightmare.
I mean,
I mean,
Baja coming in as a pinch hitter. And
yeah.
we talk about these things in cricket, but baseball have the same things where they said matchups. Because
Yeah.
Baja came in as a lefty, they thought they were bringing a lefty.
Mhm.
He smashed him for a home run. And I still think in sports, like I don't understand why people think lefties can't hit lefties and vice
Mm,
versa. But in cricket, it's the other way around. They think
yeah,
righties can't hit lefties, and
yeah.
baseball, I think But I think if you're a good player, you're gonna hit anything that's
Yeah.
in your zone. So it was Blue Jays 1-0 up, and we're all excited for tonight's game, 8 o'clock. Any predictions on the series? There have been some predictions from the Prime Minister, the Premier, both said Jays in six. But what do you think?
You know what? I don't wanna make any predictions. All I want them to do is just to win it as soon as they can, because you don't want it to get to the wire, you don't want it to teeter-totter. I just if they can pull off every game the way they did yesterday, I'm happy. I don't wanna get to game 7.
No, I don't want to get to game seven. To me, I would like to see Jays in. I would like to see Jays in six. I mean, if they can do it in five, but I can understand why they're saying six because six
Yeah,
brings them back home,
yeah,
right? So you want to win at home, but if you
yeah.
can win it on the road, and I'm good. And crucial
Just
game,
win it.
just win it exactly. And a
Yeah,
crucial tonight because you don't want to go to LA 1-1, tied 1-1. You want to
yeah,
go 2-up. LA's been they've got a remarkable record. Been I think is the last 11 times they've been in the World Series
yeah.
playoffs, and so they have such a that experience. They have some great players, and when they go home, their fans are gonna go crazy. And
Well, that was the I mean, listen, we're known as really nice people around the world as Canadians, but to
mhm.
hear all the booing that the Canadians
Oh
are doing, I could not believe it.
yeah,
High stakes, I get it, but I was like, "Wow, this is, push come to shove, this is
yeah,
the side you see." But it was beautiful, the entire start, the national anthems. I had goosebumps during "O
oh yeah,
Canada." Just the entire game was incredible. We I To see fans in tears, you know,
yes.
it was
It
it
was
was nice.
Yeah, and as you talk about the Bowen and the Shohei, who had expected to come to Toronto. In fact, during the game last night, they mentioned he had an interview. He got a Blue Jays cap. He got a Blue Jays a sweater for his dog and
Yeah,
everything. And he never came. Then the crowd was saying, "We don't need Shohei." Right?
yeah,
Man, I mean, he had a home run, which is sort of expected because he
yeah,
was there,
yeah,
but that wasn't enough to save them. And
yeah,
I'm sure the Dodgers are planning. What are the things when you look at baseball compared to other sports? I'll say cricket, for example. When you look at baseball, cricket, the teams go and they warm up maybe an hour before, 45 minutes. But the baseball, they're out there from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe sometimes earlier,
yeah,
in their routine
yeah,
and practicing stuff. So it's such a difference, and and fans actually go early to watch these
yeah.
things.
Well, it's incredible to see them just throwing to each other for such a long time, and it's the distances that they're able to throw nice and flat. It's quite incredible to watch.
And it looks so easy, like it's
So
just
easy, yeah.
it's
Well,
normal.
even their opening pitcher, Snell, he 100 pitches before
100.
he was
Yeah.
taken off. That's a lot.
Yes, because he's got. I was wondering because he actually had, I think, 29 pitches in the first inning,
Yeah,
which is a lot, really. And to
yeah,
pitch 100, but they believed in him. They didn't give up.
yeah.
Although he wasn't pitching that great, he was good. And as you said, at 100 pitches, that's a lot
That's a lot on your shoulder.
for sure. And then he's gonna have to come back probably in a couple of games to do it again.
Yeah. But I think that's where they do it so well. They manage workload very well, you
Mhm.
know, and unlike cricket where you're gonna see your pacers go game after game after game, you don't see that necessarily with baseball. You get those rest days in between for them, but
Yeah.
it's a lot on the shoulder.
It's a lot. 100 pitches a lot. That's like what, 12 overs,
Mhm.
12 and a bit. Yeah, it is a lot to, and it's nonstop basically almost
Yeah,
because it's just you alone. There's no other
yeah,
pitcher. Yeah, so it is tough for sure. But Blue Jays, everything in Toronto right now is the Blue Jays. Although the Raptors played last night, everything is Blue Jays. Everyone is looking forward to the Blue
mm,
Jays, and definitely pumped up and ready for game two tonight. I've got the bottle of wine sitting there ready.
Watching it at home?
Yes. Probably, yeah, I'm gonna watch it home. It's not fun when you're in the bars because it gets really crazy.
Yeah,
Can be fun maybe if the last game, maybe if the championship begin to celebrate with friends. But if you want to hear what's going on, you don't get to hear the
yeah,
things announcers are saying and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm the type of person who like to know exactly
yeah.
and listen.
You want the nitty-gritty.
Yes. So it's definitely best to watch at home. But good to watch with friends too. So it'd be you can go to, but not at the bars. I'm not the one to go to the bars to watch sports.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we'll follow the Blue Jays and hope for a win. And before they even got it, I mean, what a great win in the
Mm.
finals, ALCS finals. Couple over Seattle a couple of days ago before they came back. So Blue Jays, I think is if you believe in destiny, you'd say this is Blue Jays time.
I just don't want to jinx it. I don't want to put.
Don't want to jinx it. Okay. I believe in destiny, so I'll say Blue Jays in six. So we'll talk more about that as the series goes on. As we talk about on Toronto, I guess we can talk about other sports happening in
Mhm.
Toronto. The Raptors, as you mentioned, they had their home opener, not as was expected. They lost to Milwaukee, and but they won their first game, which
They won their opener. Yeah,
the opener. But then the home opener,
yeah.
122-116, they lost to Milwaukee. But speaking to one of my friends who's a big Blue Jays, I mean, Blue Jays, Raptors fan, and he was talking about how great the team looks this year. I said, it's only one game. And I said, they
That's what
had
they
a
would say about the World Series too. So just
it's one game, that's true. They had a blowout win in their in their opener over the Hawks,
yeah,
130-118. So, but his basketball has just started, and as we said, it's early in the season. Nothing much to say from it. Some teams have started good. Warriors are 2-0. The Lakers 1-1, and the Lakers actually, they lost without LeBron the other night, and I'm thinking like, are you really dependent on a 40-year-old to still carry you? You know,
hey, if you're the greatest of all time, you're the greatest of all time.
doesn't matter of the age, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't play
Well,
last night.
for the most part, we won't talk about tennis and how that relates to certain
So
players that we've been discussing, but
yeah, that's so true. But he didn't play last night again either. But Luka Doncic came through at 49, 25 to Reeves. So their players are there, and I don't know I didn't check to see what's wrong with LeBron, but some injury, I'm sure. But I'm sure he will be in the lineup pretty soon. Other sports going on, we have got the Formula One moved from last week. Verstappen won in New York, and now it's moved to Mexico. And to be honest, I did not even think of Verstappen having a chance of winning the championship.
mhm.
But now with his last three wins, it looks like he's right in there with it because he's just 40 points behind and Oscar Piastri, who's having a rough time.
Yeah.
His partner, Lando Norris. So Piastri has 346 points, Norris 332, and Verstappen 306. And I think it's between those three. But the way that they're driving right now, it looks like it's going to be all Verstappen because his car is running well and he is driving well. I think he's one of the best drivers there's around. I hate to have to say that, but I have to admit it because he's a great driver, but he's not the best person for marketing when it comes to sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he actually topped the practice yesterday in Mexico. The second
Yeah.
practice, the first practice was topped by Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari. Hamilton didn't drive in the first practice. The Ferrari had a stand-in driver, and he drove in the second practice, and He was actually in fifth place in the second practice. So Leclerc was second. So maybe Ferrari finding some form coming to the end of the season, which may
Mhm.
be good for them next year. But they still have their qualifying later today, and then they have one more practice, then a qualifying, and then the race goes tomorrow in Mexico. So we will keep an eye on that as well. You're listening to Love Bay Afrobeats Music Talk Radio, the Sports Hour with Ingle and Monali. And Monali, we're gonna talk some cricket because an incident happened today. We'll talk. I'll get into the scores and stuff, but an
Yeah.
incident happened today in India, which was not good for the sport. But then you also wonder about security. But two of the Australian players were molested,
Yeah,
and
it wasn't, it actually happened on Thursday. I'm surprised that
also
we're only just finding out about it because I came across it this morning as well.
okay, yeah,
But
come across.
apparently it happened Thursday. And it's very disappointing that you, not just as a female athlete or an international athlete or as a tourist, but as a female, you cannot go for a walk down the street to a cafe without feeling like your safety is in question. And the fact that two of the Aussie girls were molested by this apparently repeat
Repeat, yeah,
offender
yes, that's what happened. Yeah, it seems
is
like
just shocking.
it's
Shocking.
shocking. But I also worry. I wonder about the security because I think that from what I understand from the guys at the World Cup, if they're going anywhere, there's always security with them.
Yeah,
So I was just wondering what happened there, and they police has said they're going to look at the security detail and see where they failed.
yeah,
And they have a proud reputation of safety and everything, the venues everywhere. But these things should not happen. Whether you are, as you say, a cricketer or just a
yeah,
tourist walking down the street by yourself, these things should not happen.
yeah. Well, I had a really heated debate with a friend this morning about this, and I shared it in our friends group, and I said, this is really sad. It's upsetting to see that women are still getting treated this way, and
Mhm.
I think I'm a little bit more annoyed with her response to what she said. And I think this is, as a society, we need to start understanding that we've got to call nonsense for what it is,
Right.
and we cannot blame the victim in the situation. Her, her her insight into this is, well, women need to be more aware when they're traveling and need to be aware that India might not necessarily be the right place for women to go. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. We're not talking about a group of people who have gone there for tourist purposes. These are athletes who've gone there for a World Cup.
Exactly.
And to think that this is even a discussion at the end of what's happened is ridiculous. The
Hmm.
fact of the matter is they're there for a job. They're there to play the World Cup. They're not there for any tourism purposes. And even if they were there as tourists, this should not be happening.
No, it should not be happening. And as you said, it is no excuse for it. You don't just see someone and decides, and I'm sure because they're Caucasian too, they probably were targeted, maybe, but
Yeah,
that's not any reason. And the person probably knew they were cricketers,
yeah,
right? So I don't think it should be doing that, especially going as far as with touching people.
yeah,
That's going a bit too far. And no, you can't blame whether the person is a tourist or say you shouldn't be in India. They're there for a reason. The
yeah,
tournament is scheduled there.
yeah,
And besides that, there's no reason just because you're female you should feel insecure walking down the street.
yeah,
So I have that discussion with some people as well, and and they say the same thing. They say women have to be aware, but I'm like, don't because it's a woman that means they're target, right? So
and at what point do we just accept the fact that maybe we're not raising our men right?
mhm,
Maybe it's time that we stop blaming the women and we start teaching our men how they should be behaving around women and what's acceptable and what's not. This mentality isn't just going to change in a moment. It's a mentality that needs to be changed, over years. It's a mentality that you need to put into the brains of young boys growing up. And until we keep blaming the victim, we're never going to be able to change that.
That's so true. Yeah, it's sad, and hope. Well, the good thing is they've caught the perpetrator,
Mhm.
and as you said, he's known. He's probably is a repeat offender,
Yeah,
and let's just hope that they can, he can get whatever the law allows is
yeah,
handed down on him, and this has made us also be an example for others who think they can do stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate for sure. It's if you want tourism in your country, you don't want those kind. I mean, there's going to be
exactly.
always that one odd person, but still, you don't want to be doing things like that.
I think the thing that disappoints me about this is also, we talk about cricket and we talk about countries who get to host sports
Hmm.
and how safety is so important, especially after that incident happened with the Sri Lankan team in Pakistan.
Right.
It's all about safety, 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 safety. Well, then this is inexcusable. We're talking about a World Cup.
Hmm.
How is there this lapse in security where two female athletes have actually been molested?
Yes.
That's not okay.
Yeah, the security definitely has to figure out where they went wrong and just not make statements and say we're going to look at it. They have to tighten up, and the detail has to be the plan has to be much better than it was, whatever happened. And the person who, I don't know if they had security, can't say that, or not if they had security, if the person just rode on the bike and did it. But it's not, it's totally not correct
Yeah.
for sure. And let's hope that they get to the bottom of it and nothing like that happens again, and no one feels that they should not go to India because of fear of something
Mhm.
similar happening to them in the future. But onto the field then, Monali. Shocking this morning with South Africa, but it was.
Yeah, I just heartbroken.
I mean,
South Africa. But Australia's a strong team. Okay, let's call them what they are. They are the best, and they're the
they're.
best because they continue to dominate the cricket field. And
Mhm,
yes, they've absolutely smashed South Africa today. But you look at the last game they played as well against England, where they were in a
mhm,
bit of trouble. Alyssa Healy didn't play. The batting lineup, I think they lost four early wickets. But you just see on any given day, one of them is going to put up their hand and is going to see them through. And it's just this winning mentality that they have to go along with all this talent. They're going to win this World Cup. It's
yeah,
going to take a shocker for them to not win this World Cup.
it is going to be a real shocker if they don't win this World Cup for it. But South Africa looked like they were getting to good. They were getting, but they had no answers for the leg spin of King.
No,
Seven
she bowled
wickets.
7 wickets. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was a record, wasn't it? Must have been. She had 7 for 18. And that definitely has to be.
7 overs, 2 maidens, 7 for 18.
Yeah,
He
and
single-handedly destroyed South Africa.
they did, and they made the 97. They got to the 98 that they needed, losing 3 wickets. And
Yeah,
as you mentioned, Healy has not played the last 2 games. Is she injured?
yeah, she's injured. She was out for this game as well. And also, speaking of injuries, apparently LeBron James is out with sciatica on his right side.
Oh, okay. That's age.
Um, we all feel it eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I mean, it's sad, but let's hope that he can come back. And
Yeah,
it's not an easy injury. This sciatic pain is tough.
yeah,
It is tough.
I
I've had that in the winter,
yeah,
and I couldn't even get. I had to actually literally crawl through the snow to get to my car.
yeah. Sciatica is not fun. I had it when I was pregnant with my daughter,
Mm,
and just when it decides to pinch, you need to find something to hold on to because
yeah,
you're about to lose balance.
yes, it's not easy.
Terrible. Yeah.
Terribly. But back to the cricket. I guess we know the 4 semifinalists and who's going to play who at the moment because there's just one game to go, and it's no secret that it's the game that you would have wanted in the finals is actually going to be one of the semifinals, and that's
Mhm.
Australia and India. Because
Yeah,
India got 6 points. The best they can do is get eight, which would be one below England at the moment and South
yeah.
Africa. England has the game into play still, right? If I'm not mistaken.
India is
Yeah, England,
playing Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, which they should win, so take them to eight.
Yeah,
England will have to play New Zealand, win or lose, they're fine.
yeah.
They'll
You've
be
got a feel for New Zealand in this World Cup, though.
yeah, in fact, the if you look at the fixtures, updated
Yeah,
fixtures, the semifinals are already set. 29th England versus South Africa,
yeah,
and the 30th India versus Australia,
yeah.
and the finals to be announced next Sunday. I think yeah, the semi that second semifinal is one that I would have liked to see as the final, but India did well to get back to their winning to win in the last game convincingly,
You
actually.
did. Yeah, yeah. But they've had a bit of a shocking World Cup, haven't they? They've not played their best cricket. They've not been able to close games that they should have been able to close. And hopefully this last win is the momentum that they need to get to the business end of this World Cup. But overall, this whole World Cup, in my opinion, has been disappointing from a planning perspective. I
Hmm.
think if you know that you're dealing with monsoon season, then why host in Sri Lanka during monsoon season? Why? You know it's the rainy season. How many games in Sri Lanka have actually been washed out? And all the countries who were playing their games there, they've all been affected. New Zealand, you plan for this World Cup, you prepare for it for 4 years. It's a cycle that you want to make the most of when you get to the World Cup.
Hmm.
They have had terrible luck with rain. Bangladesh has been affected by rain. Sri Lanka themselves have been affected by rain. So it's not what you want to see for your World Cups. You surely the planning could have been better for this.
Pakistan actually got 3 games rained out because they
Hmm.
couldn't travel to India. They had all their games scheduled in Sri
Yeah,
Lanka and
yeah,
three of their games. And they actually said, the ICC need to plan better.
yeah,
And I agree with them. I mean, whether they would have won or not, we don't know.
yeah,
Could have caused them a spot in the semifinal. And you got to plan much better when you know, as you said, it's a monsoon season. Um, I know you want to share the World Cups, but look at it clearly.
yeah.
Make the right decisions. It could have been played in India. Um,
Well, I think we know the the other issue with
we know,
that.
but that has to be
And
solved. I
that's
mean,
the disappointing part, isn't it? There's
it-
politics that comes into the sport where you don't want it to come into the sport. There's the weather that comes into the sport, which is understandable. You can try and work around that, but how do you work around some of this politics that's managed to find its way into the sport? And really, there's no place for it in sport. In my opinion, you don't fight wars on the cricket field. It's
and it's actually gotten worse now because Afghanistan has gotten into it because Pakistan and
yes,
Afghanistan pulled out of the Tri Series, so Zimbabwe is replacing them.
yeah,
And they don't want to play any cricket with Pakistan at all, and they're actually um, calling for sanctions against Pakistan. But it's
yeah.
not cricketers, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
it's sad because I think three promising young cricketers got killed.
yeah, yeah. But we've got to start separating our politics from our sports,
We
or
have
we're going to run into a lot of issues here. It's
definitely have to.
I mean, I know we've seen it in other sports as well, depending on like we've seen the Ukraine-Russia conflict come into several sports as well. And it
Hmm.
happens from time to time, the whole North Korea, South Korea thing we've seen as well. But really, we're dealing with athletes. We're not dealing with the military, and we're not dealing with the politicians.
Exactly. So something has to be done, and you like to see. I mean, Pakistan and Afghanistan and India, they're gonna be playing each other soon
Yeah,
in the World Cup.
yeah,
Are they gonna say we're not gonna play against this team? So I mean, if they choose not to play against Pakistan, ICC has no choice but to give. the points to practice that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? But let's hope that doesn't happen, and we continue to see, so, as you said, the separation of sports and war.
Yeah.
And I don't even think the wars are necessary sometimes.
A
But
lot of it is politics, isn't it?
yeah, the politicians.
Controlling and keeping power, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, it's whenever I hear about war, I mean, we have, it's crazy because I mean, I'm digressing a bit now. We're talking about wars, but there's also some talk about U.S. going into Venezuela, which will
Yeah.
really has major impact on sports in the
Yeah.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
You know, so because I know the West Indies have their Super 60 coming up next month in Trinidad.
Mhm.
And there's talk that the US are telling them that the airspace over the Caribbean can't be used for commercial soon. So what if it happens the same time? Then you disrupted the whole West Indies program.
Yeah.
You know, so these are the things that the politicians have to look at, and who gives you the right to go into another country? But anyway, let me don't get into that.
Do I need to change the name of the talk show then?
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, back onto the sports with cricket. Anything else on the women's side that we want to talk about? What are your predictions for the semifinals?
I mean, I think the England South Africa game is going to be. I want to say it's going to be tight, but I have a feeling England's going to finish that fairly convincingly.
Hmm.
And then the India Australia, I still feel like the Australians are just too strong.
I think the Australians are strong. Two teams that know each other well. They're scoring
Yeah.
300s. Is it India's time to upset? You know, I'm going to predict India win on that one.
You think
Home,
so?
home field advantage. They know each other. They just had a series. Australia's been playing well, unbeaten. It's time to lose one of
I
those
tell
games.
you what, if India pulls that one off, Australia's going to be shocked to not be in a final, first of all.
Yeah,
I'm just really hopeful that South Africa can pull this off. They've come to so many semifinals and just haven't been able to close the deal to the next round, right? So,
hmm the men were known for that. They changed that in the Test Championships, and
yeah,
now let's see if it's the women's time to change that
yeah.
around. So don't be surprised if you see an India South Africa final.
And then South Africa carrying the World Cup.
Carry the World Cup. It's going to be tough, I think, for them to carry the World Cup, but
We can all hope.
yeah, but it's possible that they can get to the finals. But I can't see them beating either India or Australia in a
Yeah,
final.
yeah,
So the men's side, India and Australia are also playing,
yeah.
and India consolation win this morning. I guess basically saving and convincingly too. I mean,
Hmm.
it was vintage or Sharma, Rohit Sharma, and Kohli. Kohli
Yeah,
after two ducks in the first two games came good, and I figured he would because he's such a good player. He's not going to keep failing forever.
yeah,
Rohit Sharma 121, and Kohli 74 not out. Shubman Gill has not had a good series as captain. Do you think he's
mhm.
nervous being captain with these two great players in his side?
It could be. It's a bit weird, isn't it? You've taken over from the likes of Rohit Sharma, who has so much experience, so many more games under his belt. Same thing with Virat Kohli. Um, it could be nerves. It could be him finding his feet. Um, what are your thoughts on him as captain?
I think in the test, I've watched him in the test, and he did a very good job. I think a fairly good job in the test. But he has got experienced players who are helping him in the
Hmm.
test series. And I think it's not a bad thing. But if you're gonna have to groom someone, but if you're gonna have Roy Sharma still in the team, I think it's good for Roy to continue as the ODI captain and learn,
Yeah,
and he can learn from him.
yeah,
I think I just I think there's he actually mentioned about captaining these two greats, so I'm sure there is some nervousness. I'm making
Yeah.
decisions when these two guys are there on the field. So yeah, he's so far in the test match, I was impressed of the way that they came
Yeah.
back against England. But yeah, I think it's a different. They should have left Rohit as captain until he retired. But
Or
in
maybe
there,
they are planning for that because there's been some talks around that too, hasn't it, between both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli potentially calling it a day.
correct. There's been some discussion of that for sure. The some other news that came out, you must have seen it for the Pakistan. They've made their captain Shan Masood. Also, he's been named the international players rep or something like that. Test senior admin. They put him in a senior administration role as internet director of international cricket. And there was some talk that it was going to be uh, Misbah ul Haq, but then this sprung the
Mhm.
surprise. So to put a current player in an
Yeah.
administrative role is a bit surprising.
It's messy.
It is, man.
It, it's messy because you're now putting someone in a situation that's very tricky because you want to represent your players, but you have to be very careful what you're saying and how you're saying it because you're still an active player, and that will have possible repercussions
Hmm.
in your um, in your participation as a player, let alone as a captain.
Right.
So that's very interesting.
It is very interesting to see how that role goes because his actually official role is a consultant for international cricket, whatever that is, and
Yeah.
players affairs, and that role could soon become director of international cricket.
Hey, but you know what? We shouldn't be surprised with that, Ingle.
No, why is that?
No, because we have some players who are, or a player who is actively in managerial duties or board member duties as well.
That's true. We do.
We do.
We do, yeah. A director, but still playing. Yeah, that's true. So I think it's a new norm that's happening.
It's a new norm.
Yeah.
Let's call it that.
Yes. And then if you look at other appointments, Leeward Islands, they've just appointed Sir Curtly Ambrose as a technical consultant, where he will be mentoring the players, guiding the team, and shaping the next generation of West Indies stars, it says, but I guess Leeward Islands stars. And do you think
Mhm.
some of these roles should have been done before? I think something like this for Curtly Ambrose. I mean, Leeward Islands tournament starts today. He was appointed yesterday,
Yeah.
so he flew over to the tournament. And the other thing that Leeward Islands did to me is a bit backwards. They named their contracted players prior to this tournament, which starts today. So
Mhm.
they've already have. So what if some other players do really well in this tournament and get into the team? Are they
Yeah.
going to get into the team over the contracted players?
Yeah.
So, but these are the kind of things that are happening. I think West Indies need. I mean, they need to have guys like Curtly and Courtney Walsh more
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
And I don't believe they need necessarily be in coaching roles, but these kind of consultant roles, I think, are good for them.
Yeah. Mentorship, I think, is important. I think, and you would know more about this, but a lot of things that we're seeing with the Cricket West Indies is now, okay, well, how do we turn things around really quickly? And so they're, pulling and plugging in different ideas and different processes, but it almost seems as if there really isn't a clear vision yet of how they're going to turn things around. And, Sir Curtly Ambrose coming in is good. But like you said, it should have been done a while ago. The likes of him, the likes of Courtney Walsh, they should have been in the system as mentors, as consultants, as specialists a while back. And I know they've all filled in positions here and there, but there's no continuity, right? And there's lack of due process when we look at how it's gone over the years.
Yeah, it seems like you're playing a lottery, just hoping that the numbers come right. So
Yeah.
that's that comes to West Indies. There's no quick fix. I mean, I think they're making some very big mistakes by forcing players into the team
Yeah.
when they shouldn't be there. If you look at the way they handled the Joel Andrew, the youngster from Antigua,
Mhm.
I don't think he should have been pushed into a T20 team that quickly. And
That
then
early.
I think the other one mistake they're making also is with this young, I think it's a Lucian player. Um, what's his name? He played in the last couple of matches. Is but the name's not coming to me right now. But I know Athens, I think, has been mishandled as well, and I just feel the West Indies, instead of trying to quick fix, they need to have a proper plan because there's no quick fix. They're not going to all of a sudden change things around. So Akeem August, August. That's the player I was thinking about. I think they're not handling him well as well. Very talented. He looks flashy. They call him the next Brian Lara, but the way
Mhm.
they're handling him, he is not going to be at that level unless he's handled properly. So I think they really need to look and see how they do these things. West Indies, but there's a
You know,
long way
there's
to go
what
after that series lost. I mean, it was a bad. I mean, the pitches
mm,
was one thing, but
yeah,
you need to adapt to be
need
able
to
to.
adapt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking yesterday while I was watching the Jays game when they were first introducing the coaching staff
Hmm.
and just how large that coaching contingent is.
It is. Yeah.
And I was comparing that with cricket. And I know some of the countries have fairly decent coaching rosters, I suppose.
Hmm.
And they've all got their own specialist roles. But I look at, well, the associate countries, I guess they're bound by the limitations of funding. But you look at the likes of West Indies, and then we talk about bringing in those specialist roles. There's so much more we could do to help the players with that.
Hmm.
And like you said, managing this young talent, especially if you've got the right people in those roles.
Yeah. Definitely. And another thing with West Indies I don't understand is Justin Graves. He's had his success opening in one day cricket,
Yeah,
scored quite a few centuries for Leeward Islands, and then he bats at number 8 for West Indies,
yeah,
playing more of a bowling all rounder than a batter. So these are the little things that they need to look at and not just. I think it reminds me of England a few years back when they were trying to rebuild and they had this theory to put an opening batsman lower down in the order. But I don't think it's the right way to go. I think England went to that period when they were losing, and now they're playing pretty good. So I think West Indies need to do the right things. But West Indies, as we said, we have to talk about it. They lost that series to Bangladesh,
yeah,
3-1. Bangladesh prepared pitches, I think, more to their liking for the spinners. But I think one day cricket, you don't want that. You want entertainment. It's fun to see your home team win, but you
yeah,
need proper entertainment. And if it's going to be one day cricket, are you going to kill the game? It's not
yeah.
conducive to good cricket. And for the T20s that start on the 20 Monday, I hope they prepare better pitches
Better
than
pitches. Yeah,
because you don't want to see teams bowling out for
yeah.
those short. Yeah. Um, we've got about 12 minutes to go. Just one more thing I wanted to talk about on cricket. I think it was I don't want to mistake. I think it was Wazim Akram made the statement. He spoke about he compared the World Cup cricket to the World Cup soccer when USA hosted, and they put a lot of money into the grassroots program.
Mhm.
But he mentioned about that should have been done in the US for cricket instead of spending 45 million on a stadium that you tear down the
Mistaken.
next day.
Yeah. And he
You know,
couldn't be any more correct about that because that
yeah,
was a temporary thing that came and went and they blew the budget on it. The games that were played, there were shockers because the pitches weren't great
terrible.
for it.
Yeah,
It
mhm,
was, and they didn't. They didn't sell nearly as many tickets as they hoped for. They'd banked on all the India games. They're bringing in a lot of money to
Mhm.
cover, but I agree with him. At some point, we need to start prioritizing using money for development over, well, some of the flashier stuff.
You do, and I mean, look when you look at it, it just seems like a real, just like you're throwing away money
Yeah.
because that stadium, the stadium was just for temporarily went up, came down,
Yeah.
45 billion, and a lot of people actually they talk about the overspending at USA, having the games in the USA, and you're not seeing any benefits as they expected out of
No.
it. So again, I mean, that's money wasted. It could have been gone to development of cricket because there are
Yeah.
enough stadiums in the US that they could have played those games
Yeah.
that actually the capacity in those stadiums are more to what you'll expect as a crowd for games in the US. You're not going to get 20,000, etc. in the US, you
So
know.
there's a recent, well, I shouldn't call it recent, but yeah, I'm sure you've heard of the issues that MLC has with NCL. And
Hmm.
just, I've seen it as competition. And the fact that we have a stadium in Texas, and NCL is being hosted in Texas and cannot use the stadium,
Right.
is it's shocking to me. I'm like, then why have these stadiums? As the facility itself, you're renting the stadium out to another tournament. This way you've got money coming in,
Hmm.
the infrastructure is being used, but no, there's just total shutdown on that front. I'm like, then why have a stadium for a handful of minor league games and a handful of major league games and the odd series that USA plays at home, you
It makes
know?
it makes no sense because and you look at it, the stadiums there other stadiums make money by doing hosting concerts, hosting other games, multi-sport. And if you can rent it to another cricket organization, why not? But you
Yeah,
know that they're fighting between each other, so they're not gonna
yeah.
do. As you're talking about US, I saw what's it, the Global Celebrity League, is it?
Global Cricket League, yeah.
Why did it? I saw something that says celebrity. Why is that said?
Oh,
Oh,
sorry. It says what?
Global Celebrity League.
Yeah, I so at one point I think it was supposed to be celebrity, but it's now Global Cricket League.
Okay, but it's now pushed back to November 5th.
Yes, it's been
Mm,
moved. I'm not sure what the reasoning was, but there was a post about them terminating um
one of the owners.
contract with one of the team owners
Yeah.
for various reasons. I think it's now confirmed. I'm not really sure, but for me personally, it's now conflicting with another tournament that I was supposed to cover as well. So,
Well,
um, yeah, a lot of these leagues, the dates are so, I don't know, they change them on a whim, so it's hard to plan.
yes, the change is quick so much. Yeah. But yeah, they said the dates are confirmed now. New dates 5th to the 9th,
Yeah.
5th to the, I think until the 17th, is
Eight,
it?
18th, I thought. I'm
18th? Yeah, something
not
like that.
sure.
Yeah. So let's just hope. The other thing, there's so many things happening. The draft of the US Open is ongoing now. I thought the GS Open was not sanctioned, but I guess it's not by USA, but it's still going to be ongoing next month
Yeah,
or early December, but the draft is ongoing now. And there's still so much cricket that's happening in the USA. So,
lots. Because Mayor's starting as well a T20 comp in Florida.
mm,
So that's actually going to be taking place at the same time as GCL. But we've also got our women playing in
in in
Uganda at the moment.
yeah, they're not doing too well. They're down 0-4. And they're not able to chase some small scores, I think. In my opinion, they should be able to chase 100 or 80 yard. They seem to be stuck on the 70 to 80 and not getting past that.
I may not be very favored with this opinion, but I think we had spoken about the squad the last time, and you had
Mhm.
asked me what I thought of the squad, and I don't think this is a strong team. I mentioned it that at that point as well. We've got a lot of players who are battling age, and that's the reality. We've got a lot of players who are battling fitness issues because the work hasn't been put in. And
Right.
we're battling a lot of players who haven't put in the time in training.
Right.
And, it's evident when you're playing against sides who are better than you. And I'm assuming they would have thought Uganda wasn't going to be as strong as they have turned out to be. But the reality is, these women are playing in conditions that are warm all year round. They're training more often. They've got more game time than Canada does because Africa in itself has a lot of competitions, a lot of tournaments. Um, and I've been following these games, and I just cannot wrap my mind around the batting lineups. Our
Yeah.
batting orders have made absolutely no sense
It's
in
like
all four
every game
games.
they try.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
they've
been a
been trying
different opening
different
partner with Achni in every single
every game.
game. And I can
Yes,
tell
I
you,
saw that.
and it's been wrong every single game. So it's very frustrating for me to see this. And I'm thinking, okay, hang on, this last game, you've now opened with Indo. Full credit to Indo for all the years that she's given to cricket. She still bowls very well, but we know she cannot run. We know the fitness is an issue. So why is she opening the batting? And sure enough, she's been run out again. You know,
Yes.
you can't,
And
it just
to,
doesn't make sense to me until this last game. Um, Rabi Rajput, who's a youngster who's actually been working so hard on her bowling, wasn't actually
Mhm.
bowling her full spell.
Exactly. And
Why?
she been bowling well. She bowled in one the game before this last one. She had 2 overs for 8 runs
2 overs.
and didn't
Yeah,
bowl again. And
yeah,
others went for 7 point something when
yeah. The
economy rate.
captain.
Yeah, the captain, and she didn't bowl. But now she
Yeah,
bowled a full quota. She had 3 wickets. So
yeah,
I think you're right. And actually have not made any runs. And if she doesn't make runs, I don't see it coming from anywhere else really.
yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
I mean, Ajni, I think the first couple of games she got starts, didn't go on to kick, didn't go kick on to get a bigger one. Last 2 games, she hasn't been able to kick on. But I think losing's a habit, just like winning's a habit. And when that momentum is not in your side, it's only going to continue to slide. And because we know this is a very game heavy tournament, in the
Yes.
14 days, you're playing 2 back-to-back days of the day off, and then you continue that throughout. When
Mhm.
you don't have fitness on your side, it just continues to get worse with time. And I know Tanzania's next, and Tanzania's lower in terms of their standings compared to Uganda.
Mhm.
So you would assume Canada would have a better chance of picking up a couple of wins there. But the fact of the matter is, they're now 4 games in, they're tired, and it's only going to get worse with time. And this is why we say your fitness is the least you can do on your own. When you
I
get
s-
there, it's just the cricket.
yeah. I saw the Tanzania team training, and they are really getting prepared from
Yeah,
the fitness point of view.
yeah.
Their cricket, and actually in the latest standings for ICC, Tanzania just won, standing ahead of Uganda. So it's not going to get easier.
Okay, well, there.
So
That's the
it's not
US
going to get
update.
any easier for them. So
Yeah,
let's just see how it go. Yeah, it's going to be a great. It's an open eye opener, and then they can see where they are because I think most of the team think that they were in a better standing than they're showing. So,
yeah,
and you said it's time to rebuild, and you have to look at the future. You can't just keep going with the same players over and over.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be a tough test as you fly over. They play tomorrow, fly to
yeah.
Tanzania, and then play Monday. So it's going to be really, really tough for them to come back and win. I hope they can come back with a few wins because if not, it's really going to be a downer for the whole team. We
Yeah.
just got
And
about
I mean, that was the whole purpose too, wasn't it? To increase our points and to move up the ladder. But,
wickets, correct,
in a way, it's a good reality check. I think our girls needed to know that we are we're quite far behind.
correct,
And what we think um, our ability is here at home isn't necessarily where everyone else is over there. And I think that reality check is good once in a while.
correct. Just about 2 minutes left, and we'll follow the girls as they continue. But just to give you a quick update on halftime at the English Premier League, Chelsea 1, Sunderland 1, Newcastle 1, Fulham nothing. Manchester United will play Brighton and Hove Albion at the late game. And the later game, 8 o'clock PS English time, Brentford and Liverpool. I think we're just about out of time. Thanks again for joining in. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be